this time of year carries a lot of conversations, doesn't it? End of year reviews, Christmas newsletters, end of year newsletters, conversations around, oh, how was your year? Not everybody has that joyful and exuberant response to that question, because not everybody has closure on the year. And it's those things that we don't say out loud. It's what we carry quietly. I'm musing as I'm talking to you, so bear with me on this one. Things I've heard an awful lot over the last few weeks have been in response to, oh, how's your year been? It's been a lot. I'm just tired. I'm glad it's nearly over. And familiar phrases that are almost placeholders. They stand in for what the real story is. The real story, that those unspoken moments, the unfinished stories, the internal scripts that keep running over and over and over again, sometimes without us being conscious of them, but they're colouring how we see things. That silence is not avoidance, it's protection. I don't want to go there. I haven't really worked it out for myself, so why am I going to talk to you about it, you know? And if you have somebody who does this, oh, how's your year been? And expects a response, and a happy, jolly one at that, you know, the sort of Hallmark Christmas type things, those can feel like the we need to talk moments. I don't know about you, but if you've ever had that, somebody says to you, we need to talk. For me, that's a defense mode, shut down, not listening, da 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 da. And it's that defensiveness that makes us sense that it makes sense. We can sense when something is tender and we don't want to talk about it. Again, it's not lack of insight as much as feeling a lack of safety. And why am I going to expose myself when I feel unsafe? This is where analysing it isn't actually expressing what you mean. The clarity often comes after it's been expressed, that story. And this is where I've been talking about side-by-side conversations. For me, growing up, Christmas Day was a major blowout in terms of the food. But there would always be the invitation to go out for a walk after lunch. And it was those side-by-side conversations that where the real story came tumbling out. Walking on Christmas Day, I remember one particular time talking to my mother-in-law, walking down the beach. There were other occasions when I've been gardening and mum's come out alongside me. And that's again where conversations started. Yeah, the real tender story started tumbling out. The same goes when you're writing. I don't know how many of you are journalers, but if you're looking at some big thing going on again, I can't make sense of it. Pick up pen and paper. And yes, I do mean old-fashioned pen and paper, because there's something about the physical, mechanical effort, if you will, in writing that lets more out. It doesn't matter how clear your writing is. Nobody's reading it apart from you. But you'll find that the clarity can often come as a result of your writing. So if you don't have words for it at the moment, when somebody says, "Oh, how's your year been?" That's okay. Sit with it. Write it down. Because writing is not necessarily about being a writer. You don't have to adopt that label. It's not about producing something that's perfect, grammatically perfect with a capital letter at the start and a full stop at the end and your paragraph. No. This is a data dump, a written verbal diarrhea, if you will. Just get it out. You can pull it apart. You can make sense of it later. But this writing creates enough distance between those thoughts that are going round and round and round in your head and getting bigger and bigger. And it enables those thoughts to breathe. It allows patterns to surface naturally. So for me, when I was contemplating some fairly big decisions in my life, I had a couple of people who said, "Well, come on, tell me, what are you going to do?" And I don't know. And those, what I call head-on conversations, the "we need to talk," left me feeling defensive, shut down. It did not help. And as I said, the side-by-side conversations, particularly those in creative mode, whether it was walking, whether it was gardening. I shared with you guys a couple of weeks ago about kitchen duties. My mother hated cooking, but she knew that my best friend needed to talk. And that was a good side-by-side activity. It was being creative because she then was available. My friend opened up, whereas it wouldn't have happened in a "tell me what's going on" conversation. So it's these side-by-side things. The gentle approach. You don't need, in that respect, if people are just listening to you, you don't need to give them details as such. You just need to get it out. Or as I said, probably what's even easier is just simply writing it down. Get that distance between you and the story, and then you can make sense of it as you reread it. So what I'm getting at is, if you don't have the words to express how your year's been, or even going further back on that one, if you don't have the words to express it, that's okay. There's nothing wrong. You don't need to get to the end of a year and resolve it, sort of wrap it up with a nice bow, a bit like a Christmas present. You don't need to do that. Some stories are unresolved. If you like, a "to be continued." Some stories just require space to breathe. So what I'm inviting you to do is to watch, listen, notice, what are the conversations that people are having? What's the subtext they're not sharing? So if you want to be that side-by-side conversation with somebody, you know what to look out for. And you can notice it in yourself. And as I said, if talking it, if you process out loud verbally, then find a trusted person that you can let it out with. Someone who's not going to judge you, somebody who's going to hold space for you and listen. They're not trying to fix you. If you've got a friend like that, reach out to them. If not, go down the roads of writing. As I said, it's going to give you some distance between the void, the unknown, the trying to make sense of it all running around your head. And then you can come to it. And with some clarity once you've reread it. So if this resonates with you, to just hear me, you're not alone. You're really not alone. It's what I do with people. Now, I'm not saying that because I want you to sign up for me. I'm just saying it's what I do. Those quiet conversations. Get them out on paper first, hey? And then decide what you want to do about it. Have I got my 2025 all mapped out, wrapped up with a bow? No. Do I know what's going on in 2026? No. I've got some dreams, got some ideas. But writing is going to continue to be one of them. However you mark the end of the year, whether it's in celebration or not, my heart to yours. We're going to be reducing the number of posts over the next couple of weeks. I need a break. And I trust that you are going to have a break as well. For now, bye from me.